You are now listening to On the Rocks with Roxy.
What it do, what it do, what it do, boo. It is your girl Roxy from On the Rocks with Roxy. And let me tell y'all something. My producer slash very, very close friend of mine talked me into doing a solo. So now I am here doing a solo and I'm a little bit scared. No, but seriously, when he brought we went out the other day. We had some little hookah and some club soda because I'm on that journey, except for today, of not drinking. And he was like, "Look, why don't you try doing a solo?" And I was like, I don't know. Like, do I have a lot to say? He was like, girl, you always talk. I do talk a lot. So I said, you know what? Then I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So today, you're gonna have to rock with me the whole hour, or more like 35 minutes. So let's begin. First, I want to say thank you for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? And today, what I'm drinking, I made myself a Bellini. I actually pureed the pear, have some champagne, and a squeeze of lemon. So that's what I'm drinking on today. And let's begin. First, a shout out to Christina Risa and Major. Just thank you for coming out to DC, doing the interview with me. The studio wasn't really up to par, the lighting and stuff. So I just really can't wait for you guys to get back here to California so you can come and sit on my blue couch. So I'm excited. So shout out to you guys. Okay, so what I usually do, I am going to do a mental check. And listen, guys, we need to do this with everybody. We need to do this with our friends, our families. I mean, even when you're standing in Ralph's in line, like sometimes you need to just look at that person and say, "How are you today?" So my mental check, let's see. Let me take a little sippy sip. So my mental check was cool. Last week was really, really good. I shout out to Angel, which is on BT Plus. They asked me back for the rest of their season. So I shot a couple episodes. Well, actually, I was on set 3 times and it was amazing. I had my trailer and everything, and I get to play a bad girl. I'm like a convict with Angel, and then we get out in real life and I'm trying to kill her. So that has been a lot of fun. So shout out to Angel and BT Plus for asking me to come back. I really do appreciate it. And it really made my month, actually. I would say it actually really made my month from when they called me in, that they saying they want me to come back to set until I filmed the last day. And I don't die. So I'll be back hopefully next season. But other than that, my regular, you guys know what I have been through. I've talked about it if you follow the show. The whole situation with my parents, going on like 2 years and I think 9 months now, where I've lost both my parents 6 months apart. That has been an everyday journey for me. I talk about it a lot. I talk about grief, but I'm not going to bore y'all with that the whole time I'm with you. I'm going to talk about more important things. So I'm going to talk about the elephant that's in the room and that's been in the room. I have been getting DMs. I have been getting text messages. When I step out, don't God forbid if I go into West Hollywood, everybody and their grandmothers ask me what happened. For you guys who don't know, I used to work at this place called the Abbey. It's in West Hollywood. Huge place. It's been open for, I think, 34 years. And it's so funny as I do the mental check-in. You know that saying when you have to eat humble pie? I've had to eat humble pie. Let me turn this up. I've had to eat humble pie. And it's so funny because I wasn't going to bring this up, but because I'm asked, even up to this Saturday, I was asked again, so what happened? What happened with Abby? I just heard this. I just heard that. And, I always was the type of person that took the higher road. But this has definitely affected me in a way because I'm a very upfront person and I like to speak my mind. And I have been shushed quite a few times. And I don't know if you guys have been at a job and some type of workplace where you feel as though you have to bite your tongue. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. when you have that manager or that supervisor that treats you a kind of way and you feel as though that you can't speak up, or if you do speak up, that's your job, or if you say something, then your secret you told them will be out. You're like, all of that motherfucking shit, point blank. Then I decided the other day, when the idea of doing a solo show, I said, you know what? I'm gonna speak my truth. So it's not about bringing up names. It's not about crucifying anybody else. This is sincerely my truth. And anybody that has worked in a toxic environment, or of some I'm not saying it all was toxic, but in some instances it's toxic, where it's almost like a love-hate relationship. This is for you guys. So for everybody that has asked me about what happened to you, what happened to you, what happened to me every time I step my motherfucking foot out the door, I'm going to say tune into episode 7 so you know what happened to me. So let me get back to the humble pie. Now, about 3 weeks ago, because I think I'm going to start 3 weeks ago, and then I'll take it back to what actually happened for me to leave. Now, you know what? Scratch all that. Let me tell you the real motherfucking tea. It was a sunny, bright day. Doesn't that sound familiar? Did y'all see the RNC with the Republicans? That's how Trump started off. He said when he got the attempted assassination, he said it was a sunny, bright day. That's how I feel. It was a sunny day on a Sunday. And you guys know Sunday Fun Day. If you guys go to Abbey, Sunday Fun Day is lit, right? So I'm coming to work and I'm doing amazing. And as I'm working, me and another bartender friend of mine, we're working, and then somebody comes up to me. Now, the person that come up to me, they were African American, and the reason why I have to say their race because because the Abbey is majority of either Caucasian or Hispanic or something. I just want to let you know that part is not an issue of race. So these are guys that I usually take care of. There's a hip hop night that Brandon does on Friday nights, and I usually take care of them. We get a comp tab, so I usually use my comp tab for them sometimes. And they came up to the bar, they ordered some drinks, and I charged them $50, and he actually put the number 0. He puts the number 0 on the receipt, and I'm like, oh. So they walk away, and I look at it. I was like, wait, okay. And what we were told in meetings, staff meetings, that we are allowed to ask the guest if we know, or ask, was my service bad? Not go over there and say, why you wouldn't tip me or anything like that, but just was my service bad? So I did just that. I asked my bartender, my coworker, and I said, hey, you think I should say something? Because I usually take care of him. Did I do something wrong? Did something happen? He was like, yeah. So I go over to the Abbey side, I go, and he's with his friends. I kind of pull him aside, not loud at all. I said, hey, did you mean for the 0? Did something happen? And he says, no. I said, so you put 0? He said, yeah. I said, okay. And walked away. Didn't get an attitude, didn't get upset, wasn't mad, nothing of the sort. Come back to the bar, chilling at the bar. I have some regulars there. Shout out to Greg and Tim. Talking to them, everything's good. The guy comes back up to the bar. Now, you guys in the service industry know, as well as I do, if somebody tells you straight up that they gave you no tip or put a 0 on you're not going to want to serve them. There was 2 other bartenders that were behind the bar that were willing to serve them. So I continue having a conversation with my regulars. And the guy just stood there. So I looked to my 2 the bartenders, and I said, hey, can you take care of him? And they came back to me like, Roxy wants you. I was like, I don't want to get in a back and forth with him. I asked him a question. Was the service bad? Blah, blah, blah. He said what he said. Left it alone. Okay. Next thing I know, security guard comes over to him and has him go back to the Abbey. A server comes up and says, Rox, what did you do? I had to give out free shots. I said, for what? I don't know what I did. I'm chilling. I asked him a question. He told me the answer. He came back over. I didn't want to deal with him, and that was it. I wasn't mean. I wasn't upset or anything. So I go back, and I'm talking to my regulars. Next thing I know, because if I describe him, it's the only one there that's a manager, so I can't say that. So the manager that I usually deal with, that I started dealing with because they started sending him to me on a regular, comes over to me, and he says, this other manager says, clock out and go home. Clock out and go home? What do you mean clock out and go home? He says, clock out and go home. I said, why? What did I do? He said, I don't know, Rox. I don't want to get in between it. All I know is this is what he told me, and he just said clock out and go home. And I was just like, mind you, backtrack a little bit. I've been having issues with this particular manager. We had just had a meeting about him trying to take me out the schedule like the week before. Not even the week before, 2 days before with everybody. And he was in the wrong for that. No, it was a week before and he was in the wrong for that. So I'm just like, okay, this is another dig, right? And at this point, I'm tired of it. I got written up for meetings that I did attend that he tried to write me up. Then he tried to take me off the freaking schedule. Like it's been a history of him doing stuff. So at this point, I was like, this is another dig. So I said, I'm not going, I'm not leaving. So next thing I know, security guard comes over. So I'm just like, what? She was like, Rox, I'm so sorry, but you gotta go. And I said, absolutely not. Go where? What the fuck you talking about? Like, why am I getting sent the fuck home? Nobody's explaining to me. When a customer and anybody that is in the service industry should know this. When a customer complains on you for whatever it is, whether you're a bartender, server, busser, bar back, in front of the house, back of the house, host, promoter, you get both sides of the story. Nobody came to me and say, Rox, what happened? Did this happen? So all I'm thinking is that this same manager that's been gunning for me wanted me to leave. No explanation. I then make a phone call to another manager. At this point that I make this phone call, two security guards come up. So, and not to play the race card, but you got to think about it. At this particular time, I'm the only black face behind the bar, right? I have two security guards. Mind you, I've been working there for almost 5 years. I have two security guards that are telling me that I have to leave the premises. So I then called another manager that I know and go talk to them in the bathroom. When I'm talking to that particular manager, that person's telling me, calm down, Rox, da da da. I was like, dude, like I've been complaining about this dude coming for me for weeks. What is going on? Calm down. At this point, I'm like, now, guess what? Two security guards are outside the bathroom waiting on me like I'm a fucking fugitive. Go upstairs to close out. There's a write-up waiting for me upstairs. I did scratch out and tear up the write-up. When I took the write-up in my hand, I read some of it, and it says, the customer tried to apologize to Roxy. Now, let's go back to the point where I went over and asked about the tip. First of all, for a black man, you know this man ain't coming to apologize to me if I was wrong. So we know that I was not wrong. I mean, not that I was not wrong, the way that I approached him was not aggressive. The way that I approached him was proper protocol. Did I do something wrong where you felt as though you had to write 0, right? So I said, no, absolutely not. So now I see red. You have security guards waiting for me at the bathroom. I've been working at this place for 4.5 years. I did a documentary premiere at the Abbey talking about the loss that I've gone through, filmed my live show after hours there. So I'm thinking this is family away from home. And now I'm treated like I'm a piece of shit on the ground. Of course I'm gonna be upset. So I started to spew stuff. I talked about suing. I talked about this. I talked about that. I talked about everything. Tore up the write-up and everything. They're filming me on their bulletproof vests or whatever have you. And then they tell me we opened up the back door to walk you out the back door. The back door? Who the fuck you think you talking to? I ain't fucking walking out no fucking back door. You got me fucked up. I'm gonna walk out the same way I walked in. How do you think that makes me feel? You say we opened up the back door to be escorted out by security guards? And I'm supposed to take that cool. And I'm supposed to be like cool about it. How? Make it make fucking sense. Right? So anyway, it took me about 2 hours to get out of the Abbey that day because I was not trying to go. Because I felt like there are people before me and people after me that have done way worse that did not get that type of treatment. To be escorted off by, you know how embarrassing that is? To be escorted out from your workplace by security guards. You know what I asked them? I said, am I fired? No. Am I a threat to society? No. I said, then why are you escorting me off the premises? Why? If I'm not a threat and if I'm not getting fired, then why am I escorted out? Okay. I handed out all the money, did what I needed to do. When I was almost making a way across the street, my schedule was taken down off of hot schedules. Once that happened, even before that happened, I actually asked the GM and the owner for HR because at this point I was like, this is unfair to me. Did that. We went through that whole shenanigan. When that happened, I bit my tongue a lot when it came to the Abbey. Yes, I used to call them, they were a family, and it was a great distraction for everything that I've gone through. Point blank, great distraction for everything I've gone through. But a few months into the Abbey, let me tell you what I had to tell HR. I have dealt with some racial issues. After, like, let's say the day we were supposed to close for the COVID, it was the day before Thanksgiving, 2019. It was a manager, two managers, and a security guard. Let me just tell you, and none of them were African American. So after we had a good night at the Abbey, we were closing down for COVID. We were walking across the street. As we were walking across the street, this particular manager said, we choose that person, except out because I don't want to say any he or she or whatever. That particular person was talking about coming to our house. So everybody was like, you guys got to come over, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, I'm going to come over. She was like, you're not allowed to come to my house. You're Black. Shall I repeat what was said? Should I test the mic again and say it? She said, you're not allowed at my house because you are Black. Those were her exact words. How am I supposed to take that? I stopped in my tracks. There was another security guard, another manager that were not African American. Said nothing else, got in my car and went home. Phone blowing up, phone blowing up, phone blowing up. Spelling my name out, texting. For like about 2 or 3 days, I ghosted. Went home to my ex-boyfriend and I actually cried about it. It actually really fucked me. This is a new place, basically kind of new place I'm working at. Been there for a minute. Thought I was cool with this person, and that's what that person says. Point blank. Again, shall I repeat? You're not allowed in my house. You're Black. So, profusely apologized, even cried. I said, I forgive you, but I will never forget. Point blank. I said, I forgive you and never forget. Move on from there. Okay, fine. That was in the beginning of me working there. That was my first. Another time, I don't like to use the word NAPPY, especially if you are not of African American descent. I don't like the word even if you are African American descent. And those words were used about talking about themselves in front of me. And I had told 2 of the managers that are not African American not to use that word because it's derogatory. So I say all this to say, as I was walking across the street, when the day I got told to leave the premises and was walked out, as I was walking across the street, I hit up HR. And what I did was say, listen, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble, but at the end of the day, I've endured and kept my mouth closed about a lot of motherfucking shit. And this is how I'm getting treated. Point blank. This is how I'm getting treated. And this is the stuff that I've endured. No, yes, you let me do the premiere. Yes, you let me do the documentary, did the live show there. I don't give a fuck about that. That's fine. You did say what you said to me. And I did want to say that to HR. Because I knew once I said the word sue, when I was upset, and I did not mean it, but I was upset because you have security guards following me around, I knew that that's what they were going to go with. They were going to let me go. I knew that. Point blank. So I go back, I fast forward to where we are today. So at the end of the day, yes, got let go. My exit interview was fine, I was told I was welcome back to the Abbey anytime. I was told we're family. I was told that it was very emotional. And it was emotional for me too. But then, we go to 3 weeks ago, darling. And this is what I talk about me eating motherfucker humble motherfucker pie. So, my dear friend, his best friend's birthday. And they're like, she likes the nachos at the Abbey. Shout out to Carrington. Hope you're having fun in Miami. She loves the nachos at the Abbey. And I said, you know what? Let's not eat there. If you want to go for drinks, I'm cool with it. But I don't want to sit down and eat. You know what I'm saying? Like I still, even though I went for Pride and got welcomed with open arms for Pride, the GM came up to me, the security guards, the servers, the bartenders, the dancers, everybody was so nice and so welcoming. Then I went back on another night. It was my mom's D-Day, and me and Jacob went, and it was fine. I sat with Anthony. We had a good old time, and then I went home. Not a good old time. I was a mess, but then I went home. But this particular day, I was like, yeah, let's just have a drink. So finally, at the end of the day, make a long story short, I said, okay, we can go. We had some drinks somewhere else. We ate somewhere else. We said, let's go. So I go in. We walk into the Abbey. Again, like Trump says, it was a beautiful sunny day. And we go in there, and we go to the chapel side, and I see all my, this is my baby Mickey. Hi, love. And I see, all my old friends and say hi, and they were so nice. And then I go over to the other side. I saw regulars, dancers, and I sit down. Now, this is when all the shit fucking hits the fan. And this is what brought me to this point. I was fine, laying low, not saying nothing, collecting my unemployment and keep it fucking moving. But then you have to go in. So I go in there, I'm sitting down. And I'm a turn up girl. And I wasn't even turned up. I was chilling. I was sitting down just like the fuck I'm sitting down here. I was sitting down there. Chilling. I see, we're talking. We got some drinks. I see Jacob talking to a security guard. So I'm like, okay, we cool, chilling. The other manager comes up to me, and it's all lit. I'm having a good old time, just chilling. Next thing you know, Jacob, Rox, they telling you got to leave. I said, wait, what? They said, you got to go. You got to get off the premises. Absolutely motherfucking not. I'm not leaving. And I know my sister, shout out to Tammy and Leia, dragged me to hell. They were like, Rox, you got escorted out when you got let go. You going to go back? I said, I know. But I was told we are family. We will always be your family. Roxy, you are always welcome to the Abbey, no matter what. I was told that by the old owner, and I was told that by the GM. You're always welcomed here. So if I was there twice before and nothing's happened and it's been all love, why would I think anything different by popping up on a Sunday? So security guard walks away. I say, I'm not leaving. Start texting. The GM start texting, hey, and he says, as long as you're not bothering nobody, you good. Why? Who's saying this? You're fine. This is what I'm getting from the man underneath the owner. Next thing I know, security comes back. Rox, you gotta go. Absolutely not. And listening to my sister, I hear her voice and my niece's voice in my head talking about, I don't know why you stayed. You should have just left. I'm like, no. This is fucking ridiculous. It's not crowded. It's not that many people. I'm chilling in the seat, minding my motherfucking business. And here you have them saying that I got you kicking me out fucking again. What would you do? I know some of y'all be like, no, fuck that. Now I feel like y'all coming for me. So when I text him again, he goes, it's no debate. You have to leave. I'm like, wow, what the fuck? I did not do anything to anybody. Mind you, and I'm going to say this straight up, I don't have fucking family out here. They were considered my family. And that's what I was told in my exit interview. If you need a reference, if you need this, don't worry. We got you. You're welcome anytime. This will always be your house. And now you have security guards again telling me to leave. Okay. I said no. Another security comes over. So now you got two security guards standing behind me. I'm texting, Twitter fingers going. Ooh, yay, I'm texting, text. Nothing. You gotta go. You can come back Monday. We could talk about it on Monday. You just come back and see me Monday. Why the fuck do you think I want to come back and sit and talk to you on Monday about getting embarrassed again for coming and just bringing somebody that's spending money at the bar, bringing somebody celebrating their birthday? How do you think that I feel? You kicking me out. And I've been here for 5 years. I'm not bothering nobody. So I'm going back and forth. And then finally, 4 security guards, 4 fucking security guards come over. 4 security guards come over. And I still was trying to beat it. And then finally my friend said to me, Rox, let's just go. Let's just go. Fuck it. Let's just go. And it's sad because even the security guards couldn't even look me in the face. And even they were like, this is not us, Rox. This is not us. And of course I get calls the next day. I heard you got kicked out from the Abbey. Oh my gosh. You got kicked out from the, what happened? I heard you got escorted. I mean, come on, man. How embarrassing is that? So I take my motherfucking monkey ass next door to fucking Bodega Louie and fucking drink away my fucking upsetness of it. But I'm saying it's just like, you know, when everybody like, you know, the thing that really kills me about this whole thing though, honestly, is like, I'm the one that every time I went to work behind the Abbey bar, whether they're white, black, orange, purple, red, will come up to me and be like, it's great to have a black face behind the Abbey. I used to hear that all the time. Now they're a lot more, they have some more of color behind the bar. So it's not like how it was 10 years ago. But when I started, about 5 years ago, when I started, I was the only black female behind the bar. And up until almost like the last day I was there, I would hear that on every. I've heard people come up and be like, "Oh, we used to think that the Abbey was racist," and I used to be like, "Absolutely not. They're not racist. We were here 20 years ago, and they would let all these other white people go in front, and then we would be standing outside, and I defend them to a fucking T. I would defend the Abbey to a T. Always, always, always defend the Abbey because I knew race. The first week I worked there, there was a post, or I don't even know if it was a post, and they said, "Oh, Abbey finally has a chocolate Barbie. Pump needs to take notes." And then they got our marketing, or took it down or whatever have you. But those are the things that I constantly saw on a regular basis and heard on a regular basis about the Abbey, and I always stuck up. So how do you think I felt 3 weeks ago when I came to my family to sit down and have a cocktail? So if anybody's been asking me, because that's what y'all be doing, y'all love to ask me about what happened because y'all here. That is all what happened in basically a nutshell. You know what I mean? It's just it was very humbling. And I had to really eat a piece of humble pie. I felt disrespected. It was embarrassing. And I'm a strong motherfucking bitch. And I would even say, I'll tell y'all, I even cried that night. Because it was so ruthless. And you know what? It's so funny because I am black. And the thing is like, as being an African woman, I've been brought into the office because I'm a bully. I'm aggressive. I'm mean. I'm loud. Especially I'm like 5'9.5" and dark-skinned. It was easy to label me that way. Oh, I'm such a bully. I'm such a bully. Here we are, I have my other counterparts that have sued and that have done stuff and yelled at other servers and talked shit to other servers and talked shit to the managers and stormed out of meetings and nothing happens to them. But for me, I'm mean. I'm aggressive. I'm masculine. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. So for all y'all that been, let me take another sip. For all y'all been trying to figure out what happened with the Abbey, that's basically it in a nutshell. Oh, and then since that happened, this is my little pear, you know what I'm saying? Let me take a little bite. And since then, I have been looked at as the villain. I had gotten blamed. I think one of the bartenders came in 45 minutes late, like days after I got let go, and swore that it was me that got her in trouble. Drinking it's no tolerance of drinking, even though, like I drank. So I'm not even going to say, I'm not going to put nobody else under the bus, but I did put management because I was like, well, if you're going to say no drinking, then it's not right to see management. I'm not talking about employees. I'm not saying anybody's name. I'm just saying if I see other people that has rank doing it, then why not? So there's the tea. There's most of the tea. Again, like I said, people are upset about it. People are upset with me about, telling on them. I did not snitch on any employee at all. Management, yeah, because I said there's two things for me to open my mouth is if you take money out of my mouth and if you fuck with my family. Those are the only two things that I would. Everything else I'll take with me to the grave. But if you do that and if you come up against me, then I'm going to say, and it's not even about a snitch. It is my truth. This stuff happened to me. I'm not naming names. I'm not saying who, but I'm just trying to tell you this is what I went through and how humbling of an experience it was when I went there thinking it was all good and to get kicked out again. Not motherfucking cool. So there's my story. Now let's turn it around to something else. Okay, so I want to bring up something that was kind of like going around. There was this guy. I think his name. I don't know if his name is Jesse J or if it was a situation. But it was about HIV. And I want to see how you feel about it. Because I worked at the Abbey, I did come across a few people that had HIV. And that's fine because nowadays HIV is it goes on undetectable, right? You also could have a regular life if you take your meds and stuff like that. But there's a situation going on with this guy met a guy, and then when they went back to the house, he then disclosed that he had HIV. At that point, the guy was like, oh, hell no, got mad at him. The guy even thought that he was going to beat him up at a certain time. And his whole thing was, I don't feel as though I need to tell people that I have HIV that I'm dealing with. And I think that's absolutely wrong. You need to be able to give me, and I forgot who I was listening to today, where they were talking about you absolutely. I think it was Milagro. Shout out to Milagro if you ever see this or whatever have you. But you absolutely need to let me know if you have a disease that could potentially end my life. Just because it's undetectable to you, if I get it, my immune system might be different. If my immune system is fucking different, then at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I might not be able to live if I caught it. So what I'm saying is like, yes, I definitely believe now because you have all of these rules and regulations, all these medications, so you to have a viable life, not only a viable life, have a great relationship, you need to be able to tell a person that you're about to get intimate with, or even if you go on a date with, this is my status, and give that other person the right to say yay or nay if they want to continue on with going out with you dating. Because I do know a couple people that have great dating relationships with that status and allow and let their partner know once they started dating, and not even once they started dating, when they went on their first date, that they do have that status. So that was something that really stuck out to me today. Let me just take the time out now because after leaving the Abbey, I was at a very, very low. And you know how it is. Like, there's so many things that happened to me around that time. Left my apartment, left my relationship, I didn't have a job. What I realized, I heard this saying the other day, and this is towards the people that I dealt with. It said, holding on to anger, it's like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. Again, holding on to anger is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. So I've let go of that. And after losing almost everything, I just feel like God makes you uncomfortable. And when he puts you in an uncomfortable situation, he does it for you to progress. And at one point, I thought I was so low. I had a whole breakdown. I was like I was house sitting. Let me tell y'all this real tea real quick. I was house sitting one day and I lost my entire shit. I jumped up, tripped over a glass table, broke the whole table, fucking punching myself. When I tell you I was low, I was low. So when you out there, so anybody out there, honestly, that has gone through loss, and then on top of loss, job loss, friend loss, because I don't even talk to the same people anymore. Just to know that you got God and you got yourself. I was listening to Joel Osteen the other day, and he said, Sometimes you need to give yourself compliments. Sometimes you need to big yourself up. You don't need acceptance and accolades from other people. Sometimes you need to just give it to yourself. And that's what I'm saying to you guys out there. I lost a lot. I lost everything. In my head, when I lost my two best friends and then I lost my family I thought was out here and then, lost the relationship, lost the apartment, I was low. Low. But that light at the end of the tunnel is starting to shine. And I'm about to walk right on through. And I'm not the only one. You definitely can do it too. So it doesn't matter what you're going through at all. It doesn't. The sun comes in the morning and it's a new day. And my dog come here. My dog wants to say hi. Come here, Mickey. Come here. Oh, you gotta say hi. You gonna say hi? Look at his little wee wee. You gonna say hi? He's been trying to get up here the whole time. But anyway, guys, I'm out. It's your girl on the rocks with Roxy. You can catch me on IG. You can catch me TikTok, Spotify, the Apple Podcast. Again, it's on the rocks with Roxy. And again, you don't need anybody else but God. Peace.